What's up, folks? I'm Odd, by the way, and welcome back to this kind of challenge. This is something that I've done before, actually, but this is going to be a bit of a different spin on it. So, a little while back, I did this challenge for myself where I picked two random aesthetics and tried to combine them with one color palette. In this circumstance, I think that I'm going to try and go for just the one aesthetic. Mainly because I feel like I kind of jumped into the original, like the two-part aesthetic thing really quickly, even though the result for that is probably one of my favorite pieces, and I will link that video for you. I figured that we would just go for one, and especially because I've been working on a big project that continues to be big, and the end is not quite in sight at the moment, so I'd like to work on something maybe a little bit less complex, maybe? And yeah, and also I started recording this episode, or thought I did, and I did some sketching for something and realized I wasn't recording. So we're doing this again for me, but that's okay because that means that we get to try and play with a different concept, even though I like the other one, but it's fine. All right, I thought though, let's just generate a new thing, solar tech. Sun-related technology, blend of nature and technology, solar panels, power generation, glass windows, and community, tech, engineering, technical innovations. These look like they go pretty well together. So it's sort of a solar punk aesthetic kind of thing where it's like a environmentally friendly futurism almost, right? Okay, so this is totally different from what I did before. The other one was very traditional, and you probably saw the other thing was the moon fashion or whatever it was, very celestial, which I mean this also could be, but definitely much more futuristic, and it says implies some aspects of futurism. And we'll go over to the palette here and on coolers and give me a new one. Woo, interesting. There's two called Thistle. They both look thistle-y, but they're very different, kind of. This is very blue. Like, very, very cool tones. Aesthetically, obviously. I'm gonna grab this, drag myself up here, and let's go over to, oh, wrong one. Let's go over to clip real quick, and actually, edit, paste. And I forgot the aesthetic. Now, in terms of the possibilities here, right? It's interesting. Like, I feel like that this assortment could give off a very futuristic vibe, but I'm unsure. Let me think. I'm thinking this is a sky, for one. I'm thinking this could be maybe some clouds. Maybe actually switch that around. So you're the sky. You're the clouds. They are very similar colors once you see them side by side like that. Okay. Now how would one draw like a character in a solar tech situation? And yeah, like last time, I also decided to create like a character, or to create the whole piece using just the color palette. And I'll put that video down below because I said that is one of my favorites. But unlike the 3-color challenge, this is kind of a lounging character. Unlike the 3-color challenge, I try not to mix colors for this one. But figuring out how I'm gonna sketch this out is something. But there's one idea. I mean, that's kind of just like it's kind of lazy, isn't it? And the main aspect here is just making sure that nothing like overlaps so that it all looks more or less cohesive. I have an idea. Actually, you Make you smaller. Or light background. This does actually almost look like a skin tone against this purple. That's wild. Color theory is weird. What if she has a bike? like a motorcycle that is all sorts of decked out. Listen, I don't have a reference in front of me, so this is a bike. Don't. It kind of looks like a little Vespa almost, which, you know, maybe that works too. Actually, I'm gonna make it look more futuristic. Hold on. The big wheel up front and like a little wheel, or maybe the other way around. And then like there's a couple like solar panels, obviously, everywhere. Unsure. Oh my gosh. Okay. Character. Character is maybe not even riding her motorcycle. She's just kind of lounging. Maybe taking a break. Especially so we can see her face because she's probably got a helmet. She's got... Well, this is actually... Okay, yeah. She's got kind of a dark outfit on. Maybe like a little bit of blue in her visor. Carry up that light gray onto the helmet. Maybe more up here. Do need to figure out shading as well. Some like paneling or whatever around her. Maybe that dark is also her hair. I mean, obviously, I get some like darkness, dark colors going in here. Make sure that that doesn't intersect with her outfit, though. A bit of like tech kind of showing through. Make it look more realistic, or like tech-centric, tech and eccentric. Actually, probably both of the wheels will just be that dark color. And then a little bit of separation between stuff with another color. Boots. Jesus. Maybe some implications of like a solar powered, like one of those cool tech paneled roads. Something I can only assume for the background, like maybe like if it doesn't intersect with her skin tone, which it doesn't have to. She's in like a desert. Something like that, perhaps? This is obviously a very loose sketch, and I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit more. But maybe something like that. I kind of want to add like some more whatever little tech things. But I'm not totally sure what. Well, okay, I think I've got a basic concept nailed down, so I think I'm going to try and play around with this a little bit more off camera since I've already been here a while, and I will show you what I've done in Speed Paint VoiceOver. So I'll see you there. So you know how I initially said that I wanted this to be more simple? Yeah, that definitely didn't happen. I tend to spend way more extra time rendering for these because I need to lay out the colors in a way to make sure that they don't overlap too much. I also, like last time, went for a whole scene, which will always take forever, and I was trying to design a bike, which is not my strong suit. I obviously wanted a fairly futuristic look to the whole thing to bring in the aesthetic. Solar panels, cool futuristic bike, a sort of like solar electric road so the electric vehicles could go on as long as the road does. I don't personally imagine a kind of idealized future with a lot of roads. I want trains, accessible public transportation, but regardless, I could see these sort of highways existing for like the rare, maybe like courier or enthusiasts that wanted to use the route somehow. Road trips are fun, so like, just imagine having roads just for fun. That seems way more cool and having, actually accessible transportation. I will stop. Our character here is taking a break on her bike as the sun sets, looking out at a desert lined with solar panels. Initially, I thought I would use the saturated blue relatively sparingly, but the whole image just started to look kind of washed out. Never before have I misread so much, although I guess my work does tend to trend toward warm tones a lot of the time. Weirdly enough though, it was like this piece was kind of screaming for more of that blue throughout, because when I added more in, I think it warmed up pretty considerably. I knew I liked this when I kept fussing with it each time, and I was like, okay, I'm done for the night, but ooh, I could do this, and I hate doing that with recordings because it creates a bunch of different files for the footage. I don't need that in my life, okay? I do really like how the character turned out, which is good because she's like the focal point. I even cropped a bit later to further emphasize her from the background. And with her bike, her short hair, and her relatively like calm, cool demeanor, she reminds me a bit of my character Suri, who you may not know. I created her during my own take on the Inktober prompts last year, which reminds me, if you happen to know of or spot any prompt lists for October art challenges, do let me know. I'm trying to create a little collection of them for another idea I've had. Not the big project I mentioned before, another stupid big project. I'm all about the projects this time of year, apparently. I'm keeping an eye out myself, but I would always appreciate the help. That tangent / call to action aside, I finished the whole thing up by essentially blurring the background elements and cropping to further focus on this character. I also added a cool light thing below her bike and feet on the road, which made the surface look much more like ethereal, like driving through water, sort of. I could imagine almost like a Tron effect, but only on the surface of the road to indicate what a safe following distance might be or something. The only elements outside of the palette here were the white and the black of the lines, of course, but I also let myself put another layer of blue on top of the lines to blur it out, like I usually do with my other pieces, although that's typically in orange or red. Little fun thing to make the lines look a little bit more like hazy and blended into everything, by the way. But that is the only color mixing present, I promise. I think a little bit of blurring on the harsher lines for shading is allowed too. Hell, it's my challenge. I can do what I want, but I just, I like to have the restrictions. I'd imagine this character to be maybe sort of a worker for the roads and or solar panels along the desert. She loves biking too, so it's just a double win for her. But yeah, that's my drawing for this week. Let me know what you thought, and whatever other fun art challenges you'd like to see me do in the future, perhaps. I post here at least once a week on Speedpaint Saturday, so you can subscribe to catch those whenever they do go up. At that though, I'll leave this here, and I'll see y'all next time.